So are you looking for a way to cheese Godfrey, the first Elden Lord? This is the second last final boss in the game. And if you are looking for a way to beat him, there's an exploit that we can do. There's two options for the exploit. The first one is to skip him, which most of you will not have the option to do if you're already looking up this video. The other option is to skip the first fight and then try to cheese the second fight, which I'll also show you. The first thing is I'm going to show you how to get in here. Right now, his AI scripts are not running. There's a way to get in here without him activating on stage 1. But unfortunately, if you've already been in here once, this wall will block you from getting to the next boss, which is the final boss of the game. So if you come in here and you've never fought him before, though, then this wall won't be here and you can just skip him. The catch is you'll have to exploit your way into here every single time you want to fight the Elden Lord, and that could be time-consuming if it's going to take you multiple runs. If you've been in here once, though, this guy will be activated. Then you'll come in here and he'll be like this, where you can kill stage 1 for free, but you can't just skip him. So I'm going to show you how to get in here without him activating like this, and then we're going to talk about how we can try to cheese stage 2 as well. Okay, so now I've reset. I'm outside of the boss room. I'm going to show you how you can do this. So there's a guardrail on the right. Now this is kind of tricky, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. So you jump up on here. That's the easy part. Then jump and hold the run button after jumping. Now you're in a run. Now you can just run without having to reset this. I generally like to give myself a little bit of space, and then we're going to run up and to the left and then jump over like that. I made that look way easier than it is, but you'll get it eventually, okay? So we don't jump over anything here. What we do now, in order to get in there, is right when we're here, we're going to open system and we're going to quit the game. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back into the game, and because we're on the guardrail, the game does not quite understand where we are, and so it will load the objects around us in the wrong order. And because of that, it will fail to load the gate in at the correct time. So we're going to hold left and run, and we're going to fall off the guardrail and run through the boss gate. Like that. Now it loads in, but we just skipped it. It turns out that activating this boss wall and walking through it is what allows you to get into here with the boss, with his script running. If you find a way to get in without touching that gate and doing that slow walk through it, then his AI scripts will never activate. And you can come in here and do this and beat on him. He won't react. Unfortunately, this guy has a stage 2, though. So there's a few things we're going to try here. The first one, and the easiest way to beat him, hands down the easiest way to beat him, is going to be if you have a summon. Specifically, Great Shield Soldier's Ashes, and you have it leveled up. If you have this, because we're skipping stage 1, we can just go to stage 2, and the second we get an opening, we just summon the Great Shield Soldier's Ashes. They'll hold his aggro while we do whatever we want to him to kill him. The other way would be use a leveled up Mimic Tier Ashes, and I have a video on how to get the Great Shield Soldier's Ashes, and I need to make one of the Mimic Tier. I'll make it at some point, put it in the description, but they're both in Nokron Eternal City, if that helps. But yeah, then this one, for the Mimic Tier, what you would do is you would put on your tankiest gear that you have, and then you would equip a Shigiri's Woe, which is found... Oh boy, where's that found? It's found over in the Madness place, way up here, the Frenzied Flame Village. There's a house, I think literally this house right here, if I remember it right. There's a house on the corner, northwest corner, and it's just right there. And then you put that on, and then you would get to stage 2, and the second you get a chance, you would summon your Mimic, and the second you get another chance, you would open your equipment and take that off, and then the boss will literally only attack your Mimic. So Mimic or Great Shield, it's your choice. Both are decent depending on how you build your Mimic. If you don't have the right gear for your Mimic, then the Great Shield is significantly better at holding aggro. So anyway, and surviving. The Great Shield's absurd. That's the easiest way. Then you would just use something like the Sword of Night and Flame, which would let you do laser beams like this and just burn him down. Or maybe you would use a bow. You could use rot. You could use poison. You could do stuff like that. There's another option, and it's only really possible because we cheese stage 1. There's a glitch because of this. And once we beat him, even though we're in a boss fight, it will never count us as in combat. So we'll have infinite stamina. We will literally have infinite stamina on stage 2 because we did this. Because of that, you can just run endlessly and dodge endlessly, and then you can wait for openings to use a serpent bow with serpent arrows, or even just a normal bow with serpent arrows, which do poison buildup. You also could craft raw arrows. You can't buy them as far as I'm aware, not that I know of at least, but you could craft them using Aeonian butterflies and thin beast bones, and then you could use those. That also, if you want the recipe for those, you can get it at a trader who is like right here in Caelid somewhere, right on the road, and he'll sell you the cookbook that lets you make the raw arrows. Then you can just shoot him with raw arrows while he's fighting your skeletons, and then just keep shooting at him while he's fighting your skeletons and try to burn him down. That's another way to do it. Another option is to use a certain spell. There is the Rotten Breath, which will also give him rot, and that one can be bought with a Dragon Heart over at the Cathedral of Dragon Communion. You can get a Dragon Heart from flying Igneal, you can get it from killing the dragons right in front of Fort Ferrith, or the dragon on the bridge, or just any dragon will give you Dragon Hearts that you can go spend on that. You'll need 15 faith and 12, whatever it was, intelligence or something like that. It was 12 arcane, 15 faith, and you'll need a... what are these things are called? Sacred Seal. If you don't have a Sacred Seal, in order to do incantations, you've never done incantations before, you can also get one of those at the shop at the Table of Lost Grace. There's a person who sells things, you give them your bell bearings and all that. That person will have a finger seal for you if you need one. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all of these cheeses in action. The Great Shield Soldier's Ashes, the bow, the crossbow, Rotbone bolts, which could also be Rotbone arrows if you want to use arrows instead, Serpent arrows with a Serpent bow, and I even have a Roar Medallion to help with the Rot Breath, which I want to get ready. And I even have Blessing's Boon, which I could cast on the Great Shield Soldiers. It's just a heal over time. I'm not even sure where I got it, to be honest with you, but you could just heal them too occasionally if you wanted to, if you felt like risking your life getting close to the skeletons. And I have some crazy armor on that I got along the way. You get it from the horse boss in front of the rat man guy, monster guy, boss person before this. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to throw on a sword, though, just for a moment here in order to beat him down. And I'm going to take this off last second because I could show you the Sword of Night and Flame, but the Sword of Night and Flame is just, guys, it's so easy with the Sword of Night and Flame because you can just do that to him while he's fighting your skeletons, and it's just, that's honestly the easiest way to do it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you the other cheese ways because, again, that's just too easy. All right, so I'm going to get him low, and then I'm going to take that sword off. I don't actually want to use that sword for this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish him with poison, I guess. So let's see, it takes 3 hits, 4 hits, and then he's poisoned. Okay, here we go. So I need to get ready to summon. That is the main thing that I'm going to want to do here, which I don't think I have enough FP left. There we go. Make sure you have enough FP. I only have 10 mind on my build right now. Okay, that took a lot longer than I thought that was going to take because look at that health bar, how low it can go before it actually counts as he's gone. My friend always rants about the invisible health bar in Elden Ring versus Dark Souls 3, and he's definitely right. It lets the bar just keep going. Okay, so now we're into stage 2. This is where it actually gets tough. If you have a summon, everything's easy. It's going to be bugged so that we have infinite stamina. You can just run. You can just run and run and run. There's a few things that can kind of hit you maybe if you're careless. But for the most part, you can just run and dodge whatever you want. You can also infinite dodge roll, so you don't need to worry at all about running out of stamina. The main thing you're looking for is this. He'll jump and hit the ground. He'll do that, and that'll give you the space you need to summon. So you would just wait for that to do the summon, really. Then after that, you've got your summon, and now you're just chilling. If you want to, this is the point you would just Sword of Night and Flame him to death, and it would not be an issue at all. You could definitely beat him before your summon dies if it's leveled up a reasonable amount at all. And this is how I'm going to get... Oh, I'm out of FP. Okay, that's right. Got to use another flask. The other thing to do here is to Rot Breath him, or in my case, I'm going to use Rot Arrows and save that FP right now. So I'll just shoot him with these Rot Arrows that I made. Rot Bolts that I made. You can make arrows. So I'm going to do this till he has Rot. I don't know how much Rot resistance he has. I wonder. I'm looking to see if he's got the rod on him or not. I think he has a decent amount of rot resistance. There we go. He's got the rod on him. Now I can do the same thing with poison arrows, although I think he's aggro, so now I'm going to have to run for a bit. So like I said, you have infinite stamina. You're just going to run. And this attack will kill summons real hard. They'll often just feed to that one. So now I'm going to get him with poison arrows. And then let these damage over time just tick down on him. He seems pretty vulnerable to poison. Well, I also have the Serpent Bow, so that's kind of makes it obnoxious. So that... I hope I got the poison. I don't know how to tell with rot on him. Okay, so now we got damage over times on him. Ideally now, we would just Sword of Night and Flame him to death. That's what you really want to do if you have the Sword of Night and Flame, or something that will do a lot of damage at range like this. If you're a sorcerer, the battle's over at this point if you're a sorcerer. But I do want to show you how hard it can be on stage 2 if you don't have a summon. I highly recommend the Great Shield, and then you can just, like, I could just kill him so fast right now if I just wanted to. But I really do want to show what it's like to do it with weak summons or without good summons. So I am going to wait. The Great Shield guys will get him down to the next stage for me pretty easily here. And then the options are going to be using Rot Bolts on him. Oh, here comes the one you're going to have to dodge this. When his foot goes down, and then when his hands slam the ground. And from now on, at this stage, he's going to start doing those AoE attacks all the time. And you got to be careful. This is where you really want some strong armor. You just want to get to where you have medium load with some strong armor, just in case you mess that up. You don't want to just get one tap by it. That would just suck, you know, so. So now, I'm going to wait till he kills all my skeletons. And then I'm going to show you how hard it is to do it without a summon, even with cheese. But it's still doable. Darn, that one was my fault. I saw that coming. I didn't dodge. Same for that one. I'm bad. All right, now it should be just me and him. So now it's rough. If you get into this scenario and you don't have the summon, you could just lose. So what we're going to be looking for here is this attack, which now is dangerous. And then we're going to get here, and we're going to try to Rot Breath him if we can. But also, Rot Breath can leave us vulnerable to that. So Rot Breath is really not your best option for this. Ideally, you're going to want to hit him with poison arrows, I would assume. Which is also equally tough. This is just a bad spot to be in. You really just want to get him with the summon if you want to cheese him. Otherwise, life's going to be tough, man. It's just going to be tough, I hate to tell you. But it's still cheesable if you can dodge the stupid slam attacks, which I keep failing to dodge. Okay, hopefully this is the jump. This is the jump. And then from here, I can start hitting with some poison arrows. That's 2. If I hit 2 more quickly, I should be able to get him with a poison. Although he won't really give you opportunities. And the poison will tick down and not proc then if you wait too long. So you just don't want to be in this spot, guys. I was going to tell you right now. You just definitely want to do this with summons or not at all kind of thing. So, but again, it's still doable here. There's more openings than what I'm going for. And you can kind of create openings if you want to be risky. It's just, again, this is not the spot you want to be in at this fight. Okay, so I got the poison on him. Probably not even enough to kill him, though, to be honest with you guys. But you could see how you could cheese this. It starts to get real obvious how you could cheese this. I'm trying to use my bolt, but it won't let... Oh, I don't have it out. That's the only attack that can actually hit you if you don't dodge it, by the way. So you gotta watch out for that one. And if he ever gives me distance... He's not gonna give me distance. Darn, that's the one I wanted to try to Rot Breath him right there. Super dangerous as hell, though. But I did want to try to Rot Breath him right there. I think it's either going to come down to Rot Breath or just Poison and Patience is really your best bet at this point. So I have the Rot Breath ready. And if he does another jump attack, I do want to try to Rot Breath him, even though he's super resistant to it. So we'll see if what happens. I'm going to try to do it correctly. Is this the jump? This is the jump. So now, he's probably going to make me pay for this. I think I got the Rot. I think at this point it's over if I got the Rot. It looks like he's Rot. It's hard to tell with that white aura he has on him. But I got the Rot. So you see how that you could cheese it. It's just a nightmare if you don't just do it with a summon. So it's up to you guys which way you want to cheese this fight. Do you want to do it purely with summons? Or do you want to do it... Oh boy, does he actually, no matter what, have to get finished with a real hit? Okay, hold up. I gotta shoot him with an arrow, apparently. He's got some cheat thing. That's why you can't die to damage over time, apparently. But anyway, you can see the ways that you could cheese it. You can try any one of those methods if you guys want to. Any one of those could work. Again, your best bet is going to be the Great Shield Summon or the Mimic Tier with a Shigiri as well. If you don't do one of those, it's going to be tough, but you still can just kite him with damage over time. That's really just your play to do this. Also, Serpent Arrows, by the way, can be purchased at Isolated Merchant Shack. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. I need to make a single video about that, actually. So that was Godfrey the First Elden Lord. The video kind of got dragged out because of me showing you what it's like if you do it wrong, if you don't have the summon. But hopefully this guide helps you guys. It'll help you skip stage 1 with the exploit, and then stage 2, you can do any one of these methods in order to attempt to cheese him. Again, hands down the best one is to just combo the Sword of Night and Flame with the Great Shield summon. At least get the Great Shield summon up to like +4 or +5. And it should just last long enough for you to just get him with the Sword of Night and Flame all the way full to dead. So that is my recommendation, and then everything else are the other options. If you're a sorcerer, you don't need the Sword of Night and Flame. While you have that summon out, you can just spam your magical abilities. If you are a melee-only build, well, it's just going to be hell. It's just, you can't really cheese this guy with melee only. You could try to get bleed and rot on him, but you still just got to fight him if you're really committed to literally like if you're hard committed to using melee only for like the principle of the matter, then cheesing this guy is not really going to be practical. But hopefully it helps you out. Now you know how to exploit a glitch in order to cheese Godfrey the First Elden Lord in Elden Ring.